Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you. Add astro... Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
You might want to get a guide if you're not familiar with
The ability to not get lost some sort of talent?
process if you don't keep your voice down. Where's Agemo gone this time?
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you.
You might want to get a guide
The
if you're not
ability to
familiar
not
with
get lost
Error.
some sort of talent?
Interfere with the mixing process if you don't keep your voice down.
Try and stop me!
Hey, there's a newsstand over there! Want to grab a copy of the Steambird? We know our Fontanian friends love a little drama. There's no way they let their readers down. Isn't that Charlotte? And standing next to her, surely that can't be Kaniche?
How about... Lost treasure resurfaces at last. Behold the beauty of the Remurian teacup. Pretty shocking. But it still feels like it's missing something. Ah, got it! Udex gravely wounded in shocking stabbing. Set to miss cross-border smuggling trial.
Huh? What? Did Paimon hear that right? Neuvillette was stabbed? I and gravely wounded? No, surely that can't be right. Can it?
Hey there, you two. Fancy running into you here.
Yeah, that, and also a less than pleasant shock. What the heck was all that about a Saurian meat restaurant and the eunuchs getting stabbed? Please say you weren't being serious. Trading tabloid headlines?
Yeah. Charlotte and I were having a little contest to see who could find the most ridiculous fake news stories. Either I got lucky, or I have a knack for honing in on the most outrageous material. If I had to quantify it, I'd say about 1% of what they write is the truth.
Huh? Him? Lenient? Ugh, you gotta be kidding! Ah!
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to give credit to these so-called news stories for occasionally including a grain of truth. All I'm saying is, even the wildest leaps of the human imagination are always rooted in reality.
You mean all those fake headlines you mentioned actually do have some basis in fact?
Sure they do. For instance, there was in fact a smuggling trial recently. Considering the amount of speculation surrounding the smuggled goods, it's no wonder there are rumors about restaurants serving saurian meat or teacups being unearthed from ancient ruins. But in reality, the goods in question were simply a few ancient relics dug up from ruins in Natlan. Rest assured, no saurians were harmed in the process.
Oh, okay. Paimon was so busy freaking out about those headlines that she totally forgot to ask why you're here in Fontaine, Kenichi.
It was a pretty open and shut case, and my testimony in court was clear enough. But I'm guessing, Mademoiselle Charlotte, that you're less interested in the case than you are in trying to uncover some news stories about Natlan. I appreciate your kind invitation, but like I said, storytelling isn't really my forte.
Kenichi the speechless! Kenichi the tongue-tied! Huh?
If you're dead set on doing an interview, why not talk to the Traveler instead?
Charlotte never stops, does she? Anyway, Paimon just has to ask. That owl thing that popped out before, or was it a howl? It kind of looked like a howl, but at the same time...
Oh, that thing. Yeah, that was a howl.
Huh? What's up with him? Like, he's still noisy, but he's way quieter than before. It's like he's trying to hide or something.
Could be.
Not acclimatizing? Aw, poor Almighty Dragon Lord is not feeling well.
Too bad he can't come out to argue back.
What do you mean?
There's nothing physically wrong with him. It actually has to do with a strange law we learned about after arriving in Fontaine. Apparently, it's forbidden to release flying objects within Fontaine city limits during the first 3 days of each month.
Paimon sure does! Paimon's been down this road before. There's an easy solution. As long as Kaniche holds onto a how's tail, he'll be considered an Almighty Dragon Lord balloon, not a flying Almighty Dragon Lord.
Not gonna lie, I was considering that. But a How wasn't too thrilled with the idea of huffing and puffing away in the form of a mini helium balloon. That said, it's pretty annoying how he keeps randomly popping up all of a sudden. Anyway, this morning I saw a notice outside the Palais Mermonia about an event that's set to take place outside the city soon. Something to do with filmmaking. I hear that's all the rage here. I was planning to stay here and do some exploring for a few extra days anyway, so I think I'll go check it out. It'll be a good chance to let that noisy helium balloon out. He might even learn a thing or two. If you're free, why don't you come along? I know where it is, so let me lead the way.
Ad Astra. Thank you for completing today's commit.
Looks like I remembered correctly. Here we are.
Wow, this is awesome! Hard to believe it was just an empty beach before.
Yeah, it was still completely deserted only a few days ago when I passed by on my way to testify at the Opera House. There must be some efficient workers in Fontaine. Quite impressive.
A few days? One night was all it took. Rap-a-tap-tap, ta-da! But is this all it takes to blow people away? Oh, no, no, no. Given my past experience, I can't let myself get carried away. Oh no, you've forgotten me? Oh, does graph adversarial technology ring any bells? It's me, Lapine Pauline! Of course! How else would we have managed to build Fantasyland in a single night?
Fantasyland?
At least that's how I like to think of it myself. A magical land of fantasy, the stuff of film buffs' dreams. I know it sounds like I'm laying it on thick, but that really is the goal here. As you can see, the theme of this amusement park is Fontanian filmmaking, a place for all film lovers to come together and co-construct a world of dreams.
Co-construct? Well, that's a relief. Sounds like you're sharing the cost this time rather than pouring your entire life savings into a single project.
Nope! I might be inviting others to help fund this, but that doesn't mean I haven't thrown all my life savings into it, too!
Huh? You've got to be kidding. Ha! Look at you, puny little humans. Recklessly betting your entire future against some stupid vanity project. If you're expecting even an ounce of sympathy from the almighty Dragon Lord, dream on! Mockery is all you shall get, straight from the heart!
Sorry, just ignore that little gizmoid. He likes to butt in occasionally. Do go on.
Gizmoid? Who you calling Gizmoid? You're the Gizmoid!
Wow! That's quite a nifty mecha you've got yourself there. Is it some sort of smart personal assistant? You ought to let Miss Charlotte see your cool gadget. Who knows? Maybe you could even look into mass production!
Mass production? Ugh, insolent, vulgar, and disrespectful! I, the almighty Dragon Lord, am one of a kind! There has never been another like me, nor will there ever be! And another thing, smart is the understatement of the century! I shall have you know that I am Kahulahau, forebear of ancient wisdom! I lived for eons long before any of you were born!
What? Heavens above! I beg your pardon, forebear of ancient wisdom. Please, I meant no offense.
Idiot meets idiot.
What's all the fuss? Making some new friends, are we?
Miss Navia! Allow me to introduce the star behind all the work that's gone into this venue. Miss Navia, president of Fontaine Spina di Rosula.
Hello, everyone. Partner, Paimon, how have you been lately?
Hello there. I'm Kanich.
What about me? What about me? My useless servant can't even give me a proper introduction.
You think someone yelling their name out in the middle of a public street really needs an introduction?
He's not wrong. I caught yours just now, in fact. So, you must be the almighty Dragon Lord, Mr. Ahau. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, see that? That's what I call proper manners. Well, well, it's not every day you meet a well-mannered human. Navia, was it? Excellent. You may address the almighty Dragon Lord by his name. Navia, don't you think the title Almighty Dragon Lord is a bit silly?
It's no big deal. All little animals do that, don't they? I mean, try to puff themselves up to look more impressive.
Anyway, it's all thanks to Miss Navia and the Spina di Rosula that Fantasyland's gotten up and running in the space of a single night. Honestly, thank heavens! After all that paperwork and endless waiting, the event and venue finally got the green light. I couldn't wait a moment longer. The second the approval came through, I reached out to President Navia, hoping she could lend a hand. After all, who else but the Spina di Rosula would indulge such impulsive demands?
Sorry, traveler. Miss Lapine Pauline sometimes gets a bit overwhelmed by her own excitement, as you can see. I'm guessing she hasn't gone into much detail about the event yet, so let me fill you in. In short, the Cheval Moran Film Fantasyland is a fan convention that's open to film enthusiasts from all over Teyvat. Miss Lapine Pauline is hosting this event and also providing technical support.
Huh? Cheval Moran?
That's right. The one and only Surintendant Cheval Moran! After much persistence and many solicitations, I finally obtained Lady Farina's permission to use the image of her close friend. Not only is our adorable mascot drawing in fans by the minute, but she's also boosting her own popularity. And that was always the goal. A win-win arrangement.
It's been a while since we last met, but still, it's a surprise to hear Lapine Pauline coming out with such sensible. By the way, Miss Lapine Pauline, have you decided to switch careers and go into film tech?
Not exactly. By chance, one of the prototype lenses I developed caught a photographer's eye, and it's now being used for the latest cinematic productions. Thanks to this unexpected opportunity, I've had the chance to invent various film-related equipment and props.
That's right. So don't underestimate Miss Lapine Pauline, our resident engineer. She's the technical powerhouse at the core of this entire event. As for the Spina di Rosula, we're mainly here to take care of planning, operations, and management. For anyone feeling inspired to set up a booth, Miss Lapine Pauline and I will provide the necessary technical and operational support once their application has been approved. By the way, Traveler, are you at all interested in taking part? It would be a chance for you to earn some extra income. Plus, with your skills, I'm sure you could bring something special to the table.
Paimon would be even more tempted if you were to, say, throw in one of those fancy feasts she's seen in those gourmet food reels.
Well, as it happens, that'll be a piece of cake. Everyone needs to eat, whether they be tourists or the stall owners themselves. So thanks to Miss Navia's help, we've managed to invite none other than the celebrity chef, Miss Escoffier, to run our theme restaurant. Look over there!
You! Yes, you! For the last time, the ingredients have to be in the right ratio! Get it right next time, or you might as well just lie down on the chopping board yourself.
She seems a bit busy right now.
Well, I'm sold. I think I'll make a How go be her assistant.
You little... What's your game here?
Demoiselle, sorry to bother you, but there's an issue over here that requires your personal attention.
Apologies. Looks like it's back to work with me. Please feel free to take a gander at what we've got. Anyway, if you're interested in taking part, come find me later. Traveler, it's you! Ready to join the Cheval Moran Film Fantasy? It's time, dear As I mentioned, of course, we, for our part...
Long-term operations? We spend most of our time adventuring, and we barely have any experience running a stall.
That's more like it. You've seen it all before, haven't you, partner? Anyway, first things first. Let's get an overview of how the whole festival's gonna be run. As you can see, our fantasy land's a bit like a sugar-free macaron right now. Several areas are still under construction. The Spina's only been able to hire a limited number of craftsmen. Besides, we don't have enough experience to handle multiple projects simultaneously. That's why I chose to adopt a time slot-based planning method, so we can upgrading, which will allow.
So, which means kinda like playing chess or Paimon thinks she just about gets it. Yep, come on. You mentioned standardized
Of course. Film and entertainment mean different things to different people. If we're not careful, some visitors might wander off and end up getting in trouble. And others might pick up dangerous. To avoid confusion, we need to create a standardized strategy guide for each activity.
Wow, if we're the first, but if we hit a tough spot, we'll just have to rely on our skills to.
Hopefully it goes without saying that I'd never put you in danger, partner. I carefully checked all the existing activities before you arrived, and I can assure you that they're all perfectly safe. I also wanted you to experience the activities before anyone else gets to. It'll be fun. Plus, we'd like to hear your thoughts and suggestions.
Oh, those are two things Navia is best at. Making people feel safe and having fun.
Great! Well, I can't wait to hear what you think. Your input. All right, then. Let's start with eclectic. Both of you seem even more excited than before.
Paimon hasn't actually watched it.
Great job, Paimon. That's exactly what our enthusiast friends were hoping you'd say. They'd be beyond delighted to hear that visitors. Some have even been willing to contribute
Out of their own pockets.
That's right. While the Spina di Rosula covers the cost of the cost of the booth itself isn't their main expense. Some of them have already started designing spin-off. Take our official mascot, Sir Intendant Chevalmoran, for instance. She won second place in the last most popular character poll. Many people have expressed interest in designing cushions based on her image, using the highest quality fabrics and hiring the most skilled artisans to mass-produce them. These cushions will officially go on sale. Sounds irresistible, right? Plus, as Surintendant Chevalmoran's guardian and official, after all, the fans are doing. The more Mora ends up in free.
Oh, Paimon likes the sound of that. Everyone working hard.
Still, we can't just. The same logic applies to the Chevalmoran Film Fantasyland taken as a whole. Once we finish the standardized, there's plenty of work. There's a recruitment section on the parks. Once assigned.
Wait, so we've suddenly gone from being playtesters to heads of human resources? That's definitely a first for us. Just don't hold everyone up to your... All right, time to review Looks like this particular employee is really getting into their role.
In any case, with this, the Chevalmoran Film Fantasyland is now officially running a theme park is a long-term project. We're just about to... Well, then building on this moment to draw in the crowds, I've invited one of she'll be performing, right?
So, is there
The restaurant is up to standard, and the waterside location will make for a unique dining experience. The beautiful scenic reflections in the water create a stunning backdrop, lifting diners' spirits and allowing them to truly savor their meals. Ingredients, check. Cooking utensils, check. Looks like we're ready to rumble.
Hey there, Escoffier!
Oh, my employers are here. The president of the Spina di Rasula, plus the famous traveler and Paimon. I must say, you seem a bit overqualified to be running a film-themed amusement park.
I'd say that if anyone here was overqualified, it would be the former head chef of the Hotel de Boer. Wherever you walk, the aroma of fine cuisine follows in your wake.
Let's get back to business. I'm guessing you want the traveler to help me decide the theme dish for each cycle, right?
This is the business strategy I mentioned earlier. Using Escoffier's top-tier dishes to attract more visitors to the park. But this isn't just about attracting visitors. Her culinary masterpieces will surely have other surprising effects. Just imagine, Paimon, if all you needed was a single ticket to enjoy all the attractions and taste all the legendary food. Wouldn't you be tempted?
Then Paimon come every single day.
Now, here's the twist. To get the most out of this strategy, the menu can't be made public. Based on research by a certain food branding consultant, many restaurants have started offering a special chef surprise dish. So give me some inspiration every few business cycles, and I'll decide on our next theme dish. Now then, give me your hand. A warm and energetic feel. Your hands are calloused from wielding your sword, but still quite delicate. When you grasp its hilt, it's like you're holding the bow of a violin. A sword, then. The theme this time shall be strength. All right, let's find out what strength looks like in gastronomical form. I've refined the sauce for these barbecue ribs. It's a richer flavor than the classic version, but not the mint extract in the seasoning leaves a refreshing aftertaste. Perfect for indulging yourself after a fun-filled day. But if you ask me, I'd say the artisans need these more than the guests.
The artisans?
As I'm sure you've noticed, this park isn't quite finished. A serving of these barbecue ribs should help the artisans replenish their strength much more quickly. As their bosses, you have an obligation to provide meals for them. So why not invite them to dine here? Who knows? The morale boost might even improve their productivity.
Oh? If I recall correctly, you once served up some special fish and chips for the porters over at the Fleuve Centre. For several days after, the workers were all incredibly efficient. They'd finish 8 hours of work in just 5. And then, because they clocked out early, they'd come back completely refreshed the next day.
Then there's no time to lose. Go invite the artisans over while these ribs are still hot. I'll prepare some side dishes and desserts too.
That's a great idea! You really live up to your reputation, Escoffier! Looks like these themed dishes are gonna make a huge difference after all. We'll have to make sure we check in with you regularly. The artisans are pumped and ready to roll thanks to that themed dish.
And perfect timing, too. Let's take this chance to take the facilities of our eclectic escapades to the next level.
We should be able to attract more customers by upgrading the stall, don't you think?
That's right. Based on my business experience with the Spina di Rossul, an attraction will reach its ideal revenue only when its service value meets customer expectations. When that happens, that should be everything. Looks like you've pretty much mastered how to run this park.
Huh? Have we really? Thinking about it, we have learned...
Oh, not at all. I imagine long-term operations sounded like a scare, but don't let that scare you. Just break things down into smaller steps and
Whoa, seeing your own progress has really got Paimon fired up! From here on out, we'll be... Is that Navia over there? Oh, it's been a while. Let's go say hi. Hey, Navia, what you up to?
Shh! Monica! I don't want to see you back here until you're ready to wake up and start doing things properly! Right now, you're a disgrace to my kitchen and to the Hotel de Boer name!
It was an accident.
I'm sorry, did you hear me asking for excuses?
No, I'll do better, I promise.
Why is she so aggressive? She won't even listen to.
Wait! Huh? Who do you think you are telling me? Wait a sec. Navia? Huh. So, you're bringing backup now. Suit yourself! You're still wasting your time!
Savannah, is this how you always treat your staff?
My staff is right. I'm the one in charge here now. And last time I checked, the Hotel de Boer doesn't take orders from the Spina di Rosula.
Of course. How you run your kitchen is none of our business. But when a member of your staff is so overworked he becomes gravely ill, that most definitely is our business. We're going to stand up for him, whether you like it or not.
Overworked? I've said it before and I'll say it again. If Vermont can't handle the job, then tough luck. There are plenty of other capable people I can hire instead.
But Philmont can do the job, he just...
Monica, back inside, now!
Huh? But you said I shouldn't come back until...
Just do as you're told, and not another word out of you! Come on, we have work to do!
Wow! What a horrible person!
Sorry. Looks like I've dragged you into some drama again. Her name is Savannah. She's the new head chef at Hotel de Boer. Ever since she took the job, she's been enforcing a brutal work regime and putting a huge amount of pressure on her staff. One guy was so overworked, he collapsed from illness. He's been bedridden for days, and he can barely even talk properly.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I don't deserve to be a chef.
At his family's request, the Spina di Rosula is trying to mediate on his behalf. We're not exactly making a ton of progress, as you saw. Savannah is adamant that Vermont's exhaustion and illness have nothing to do with her or how she's been running her kitchen. She's refusing to have any kind of meaningful dialogue with us. Our next thought was to talk to the other chefs at the restaurant and get a better idea of their working conditions. But with Savannah watching them like a hawk, no one has been willing to open up. And that's why I'm here, doing it the old-fashioned way. Camping out?
Oh, shoot! It all makes sense now. Sorry. Paimon should have thunk before she spoke. Did Paimon ruin everything?
Oh, no, not at all, Paimon. Honestly, the way she was laying into Monica, someone had to step in. I'm sure I would have piped up if you hadn't. And besides, I don't really think I'm built for espionage. Yeah, meaning it's gonna be all the more difficult to get the inside scoop now. Oh, I might as well head back to the Fleuve Cendre then. We'll need to come up with a whole new game plan.
Paimon will join you, 'cause this is kinda all Paimon's fault.
Guys, it's fine. You don't need to worry about it. That said, if you were planning to visit the Fleuve Cendre anyway, let me take you out for a meal. I'll make sure it's a proper feast. A really famous chef just joined the Spina di Rosula's tavern. Her name is...
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to apologize for the scene you witnessed just now. We shouldn't subject our customers to that. This is a small token from us. It's some candy from Monica. She asked me to make sure it was delivered into your hands.
Monica's the one apologizing? Huh. Clearly Savannah is the one who owes an apology.
Our head chef has been a little highly strung lately. Sorry for everything.
All right. Since there's candy, Paimon will drop it. Not the candy.
Thank you for understanding. We'll make sure to pass your feedback on to Miss Savannah.
A little highly strung, huh?
Paimon doesn't get it. How did someone like her even become head chef?
Well, according to Fermat's family, she hasn't always been like this. But that's a story for another time. Let's try this candy.
Oh, Paimon totally gets it. Come on, dig in! Huh? Hold on, there's something written on the wrapper. Find Escoffier?
Escoffier? Could this mean...
So, who is this Escoffier, anyway?
Well, for starters, she used to be the head chef at the Hotel de Boer, before Savannah. She recreated the legendary Gâteau de Boer and restored the restaurant back to its former glory. Safe to say, she's the most renowned head chef in the Hotel de Boer's history, after the culinary genius Modeste himself.
Gâteau de Boer? That's the super exclusive cake that they only sell a few slices a day, right? Wow. Why the heck would she let Savannah take her place?
Well, apparently, the Hotel de Boer was reported for a safety incident. Someone claims that the kitchen was adding an illegal substance to their menu. But none of the chefs had any idea how it could have gotten into the food. In the end, Escoffier decided that as head chef, she should take responsibility. And she was sent to the Fortress of Meripede.
The Fortress of Meripede?
Well, you're right. The quantity of the substance they found was fairly minimal. Even the guards believed the whole thing was probably just an accident. Escoffier didn't have to stay in the fortress for long, but still, by the time she returned, the role of head chef had already passed to Savannah.
So that's what happened. Paimon still thinks it's really unfair.
Even though Escoffier is no longer head chef at the hotel, she's still well respected by the staff. So, I'm guessing what Monica wants is for us to convince Escoffier to try and negotiate with Savannah on the staff's behalf.
Oh, Paimon gets it! Monica wants Escoffier to come back and kick Savannah out. It's simple. If the new head chef is stressing everyone out, then the solution is just get the old one back.
Well, about that...
You thought cream of mushroom soup was ready to serve after 3.5 minutes on the stove! You'd have had more sense serving hot water with ice cubes. At least then you wouldn't have wasted all this perfectly good cream and mushroom! What do you say, Hilaire?
I'm sorry, Cream. I'm sorry, Mushroom.
As you can see, Escoffier is that kind of chef as well.
You have to leave it on the heat for long enough to allow those flavors the chance to come out. Don't be fooled by the aroma when the water first starts to boil. Got it?
Yes, Chef.
Then go back and do it again. The customers are still waiting. Remember where you went wrong and don't repeat the same mistake twice.
Yes, Chef!
Excuse us,
Waiting to be served? Sorry, we're pretty busy. I'm afraid you have to join the line.
Oh, no, we're not here to eat.
So you're not paying customers? Then I'm afraid the wait will be even longer.
It's hard to talk to Escoffier when she's in the zone. Let's take a seat. We can catch up while we wait.
Looks like the rush hour is finally over. Is it always this busy here?
These days, yes. I'd say business has tripled since Escoffier joined as temporary head chef. Well, in her words, the Hotel de Boer doesn't need her anymore. It doesn't look like she's got any plans to go back.
I guess I'll be heading off then.
Wait, take these home with you. We can't serve them now, and there's no sense in letting them go to waste.
Oh, thank you, Chef.
For what? Like I said, I just don't want them going to waste. Oh, and tell Fiamma to get well soon, so you're not running yourself ragged every single shift.
Fiamma. That's the second time we've heard that name. Who is that again?
He's the chef that fell ill from stress. Hilaire is his son. And with Mom stuck at home taking care of Dad, he decided to pick up some work to help pay the bills. Escoffier knows their situation, so she's been making some extra food every day for him to take home.
Hey, I heard that, Navia! I've told you before, no one's making extra food. Hilaire is making blunders in the kitchen, and I can't serve his failed dishes, so he might as well take them home.
Yeah, failed dishes that just so happen to be nutritionally complete every single time.
So you two must be the world-famous traveler and his companion, Paimon. Yes? Is there something I can help you with?
Oh, so you know us already. We'll skip the introduction then. We're here to talk about Savannah.
I certainly am. The Spina's headquarters are right next to the tavern. And I've lost count of the number of times Navi has come to pester me about it. But I don't work for the Hotel de Boer anymore, and being ex-head chef doesn't give me the right to interfere with that business. Besides, I'm the one who persuaded Savannah to take the job in the first place.
What?
Well, she was a much gentler person back then. A little timid even. She wasn't at all confident that she was the right fit for the role.
That's hard to believe. Are we definitely talking about the same Savannah here?
Honestly, I do wonder if she's just emulating me. I mean, I'm not the most pleasant head chef to be around either. Anyway, suffice to say that given the history between us, it'll be tricky for me to tell her she's doing her job wrong without coming across like a huge hypocrite. Fiamar and the others probably think that Savannah gets it all from me.
I wouldn't be so sure about that, Escoffier. Look at this note we got from Monica.
She mentioned me.
Whatever shortcomings you feel you have, it looks like Monica still trusts you. As for the others, well, how can you know what they think unless you ask them?
Monica.
Plus, it's not like we're asking you to storm in there and raise hell. We're only in the initial phase of our investigation. All we're trying to do is get the other chefs to open up to us.
Oh, Monica. Oh, Monica!
Escoffier?
I can't believe her! Powdered sugar is supposed to be applied sparingly. Look at all that on the wrapper. It's thicker than the sole of my shoe. Unbelievable! I won't stand for this. She has to learn. Come on, we're going.
Wait, so now she's,
Let's go catch up to her. We don't want to keep her waiting.
Wait, she looks like... Is that Escoffier?
Escoffier's? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I messed up your order.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Maybe the taste is a little off, but if you hadn't brought it up, I don't think I would have noticed.
But, please, you have to forgive me or Chef is gonna... Okay, I know. I'll kneel before you.
What the heck?
Get up, Monica! Can't you see that you're just making your customer feel more awkward?
Escoffier?
If you want forgiveness, then do what any self-respecting chef would do. Make the dish again. And this time, get it right. You cannot go begging your customers to feel sorry for you.
Savannah said that I'm not allowed back in the kitchen until I've corrected my mistake. But if I can't go back into the kitchen, I can't do the dish over.
That's some backwards logic. How can you fix your mistake without being allowed to cook? If this is what Fermat had to put up with, then no wonder he had a breakdown.
We apologize for interrupting your meal, sir.
It's fine. With my layman's palate, it's not like I can tell the difference anyway. I was actually quite enjoying my meal until she appeared out of nowhere and started apologizing. Gave me a bit of a fright, to be honest.
Oh, well, it's because Chef Savannah tasted a bit of the leftover soup from my pot and then threw me out of the kitchen.
Gosh, that's pretty strict. Has she always been that way? I don't recall things being like this when Escoffier was head chef here. I gotta say, you're all looking a little worse for wear these days.
I mean, Escoffier was strict too, but I think the difference is that her criticism was more constructive, so you knew what you did wrong and how to improve, and we all knew that it came from a good place. Chef Escoffier was hard on us because she truly wanted us to reach her level. But these days, whenever we make a mistake, we just get told to wake up, get your head in the game, or just do it again. And it's only gotten worse since word got out that Chef Escoffier had started working again in the Fleuve Cendre.
Monica, you don't need to call me chef. I'm not the boss here anymore.
Yeah, but through no fault of your own. What happened back then? That wasn't on you, and all of us know that. That banquet was a huge event, and so many staff were involved every step of the way. With so many moving parts, there's no way of knowing how that Lumiline ended up in the food we served.
Lumiline? What's that?
A new drug from the Fontaine Research Institute, produced from an extract of the Lumitoile. Apparently it sharpens the senses, so they used it to treat people with impaired responses to stimuli.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. They found out you can use it as a flavor enhancer since it stimulates the taste buds. Makes things pretty addictive.
They also found that overuse can have mood-altering effects, and even lead to nerve damage. So it quickly ended up on the guard's list of controlled substances. Unfortunately, however, some food products containing the additive had already made it to the market by the time the guards banned it from the restaurant industry.
Everyone knows that in all likelihood, someone probably just purchased a batch of contaminated ingredients by mistake. But you took all the blame. We all know why. You just didn't want to see this turn into a place where tensions are constantly running high, because everyone's suspicious of each other all the time. And now look at you, a fry chef in the Fleuve Cendre.
What are you trying to say? Sure, the Spina's Tavern is no Hotel de Boer, but come on, it's not that bad, is it?
Oh, the Fleuve Cendre, you say? Great. That's where I'm dining from now on.
Monica, I'm very happy with my current job. And there's no changing the past. We just have to let bygones be bygones. Besides, at the end of the day, I was the head chef, regardless of whose mistake it was. Ultimately, the responsibility lay with me.
If only Savannah was half the boss you were.
I'm sorry? Do you have a problem with my conduct as head chef?
No, chef.
So you do remember who's boss? Escoffier? I thought you'd left this place for good. What are you doing back here?
What happened to you, Savannah? Why are you acting like this? When I turned this place over to you,
You made me the head chef and gave up your right to tell me how to do my job. You're not the boss here anymore, so stop acting like you own the place.
Whoa. Sounds like someone has a chip on her shoulder.
Oh, Savannah! My God, have you grown a temper since I last saw you? Have you put even half the amount of energy into improving your cooking skills, or are you still using the Pluie Lotus as an off-brand marcotte, thinking no one can tell the difference?
That's none of your business!
What happened to not storming in and raising hell?
Ho ho! I was not expecting to see something this spicy as soon as Escoffier returned.
Huh? Fan-Agem?
Aye, miladies. Might I make a humble suggestion? Given that we have ourselves a tête-à-tête between chefs at the Hôtel de Bord, I dare say it would be de rigueur to settle this the traditional way.
The traditional way? That can only mean one thing.
That's right. I'm talking, of course, about the tradition established by Modeste himself. The cooking contest!
According to legend, the founders of Hotel de Boer, Modeste and Savelli, used this method to resolve all of their disputes. Everything from petty arguments over next week's menu to disagreements over the strategic direction of the restaurant. The cooking contest would decide who had the final say.
Huh. Sounds like they had a lot of free time on their hands.
Ah, well, it might sound that way to us. But in fact, the cooking contest played an enormous role in motivating chefs to hone their skills, reaching new heights of excellence in the culinary arts. And indeed, The reintroduction of this institution in recent years has surely been instrumental in transforming the Hôtel de Bord into the top-ranking restaurant in Fontaine.
Reintroduction? Someone brought it back? Who?
What say you, Escoffier? Surely you of all people won't back down from this challenge. It was you who put the rule in place, after all.
Sure, I reinstated it, but I'm not a chef at Hotel de Boer anymore. Isn't this bending the rules a little?
I see no issue as long as both sides agree to the terms. We could simply treat it as an exhibition of sorts. Savannah, any objections?
Exhibition. Huh. No. If we're going to battle it out, let's put it all on the line. If I lose, it's up to you what happens to me.
I don't want anything to happen to you.
But if you lose, you hand over the Codex de Board to me.
What? The Codex de Boer?
Only the legendary handbook written by the original head chef Modeste. It's the greatest treasure in Fontaine's culinary world.
Present and former. Wait, but that already includes Savannah, though.
What do you want that old thing for? You have your own copy, don't you?
Don't take me for a fool. You know perfectly well what I mean. I want your copy, the original version, the one you took with you when you left us.
I'm sorry, I must be missing something. You know, there's no difference between the original and the copy, right? They contain the exact same recipes.
Stop trying to change the topic. What's wrong, Escoffier? Scared you're gonna lose to me? Or are you scared of me getting my hands on the original codex?
Savannah, you may remember that we gave her the original as a parting gift to thank Escoffier for her years of service. Asking for it back feels a little,
Oh, I'm sure it won't be an issue, as long as both sides agree to the terms. Those were your words, weren't they? And as for the contest itself, let's make it a bake-off. Gâteau de Boer, per the recipe in the codex. Well, Escoffier, you against me. Are you in or out?
You sound surprisingly confident. All right then, let's see how much you've actually grown. I hope you surprise me, Savannah. I'd hate to find out that all you've learned after this long is how to chew people's heads off.
Believe me, I'll show you.
Escoffier, are you sure this is a good idea? You accepted her terms a little hastily.
Oh, it'll be fine. Let's head back to the Fleuve Cendres so I can get prepping.
So, this whole bake-off thing kind of came out of nowhere. Was it really sensible to just go along with it?
Well, I got a sense that she's holding something back. But we chefs always express ourselves in our cooking. So if she won't talk, this might be the best way to find out what's really going on with her.
Huh? Holding back? Sure didn't sound that way to Paimon.
Escoffier only picked up on it because she's the same way. Always closed off. never letting you know what she really thinks.
That's patently false, at least where your macarons are concerned. I've been nothing but truthful with you about the disgraceful amount of sugar you use.
Okay, that's one case where you can keep your thoughts to yourself.
Oh, that? Well, it's not so much a recipe book as a diary of Modeste's adventures. Back in the day, he and his good friend Savelli explored far and wide, partly adventuring, partly looking for new ingredients and developing new recipes. Their creations had an enormous influence on the course of Fontaine cuisine, turning it into a much more vibrant and diverse scene. For instance, legend has it that the original Gâteau de Bourg was made using a special secret ingredient that Modeste discovered on one of his adventures. So rare was the ingredient that they could never make more than 16 slices of the cake per day. But everyone who tried it claimed that it was one of the most blissful and invigorating things they had ever tasted. Modeste and Savelli went on to found the original Hôtel de Bourg, which catapulted them to stardom in Fontaine's culinary world. Especially Modeste. He was hailed as a once-in-a-generation genius, and over time, the recipes from his adventure log became known as the Codex de Bourg.
Ah, Paimon's heard this kind of story before. Armed with the Codex, the Hôtel de Bourg took its rightful place as the finest restaurant in the land, serving those recipes for centuries to come. Something like that?
What? No, of course not. Cooking is a constantly evolving art form. How could any restaurant survive if they only served food that was popular last century? Anyway, never mind centuries. Savelli and Modeste parted ways not even 10 years after their rise to fame. Then, Modeste passed away while he was still in his prime. And that was it. The end of the Hôtel de Bourg's heyday. It fell into decline, and for most of its history, it was just a nondescript place with a couple of cheap tables. It's only in recent decades that it started recovering. Even then, it still took numerous relocations and changes of management before we finally ended up with Vanigem and the restaurant we have today.
Oh! So the Codex really isn't all that, then. Paimon figured it was like one of those mystical books they have in Liyue's martial arts novels, where the main character learns all their secret powers from.
Yes, well, that's fiction, and this is reality. You can't meet the tastes of modern diners by following some ancient recipes from a dusty old book.
Case in point. Even the Gâteau de Bourg they sell now is actually Escoffier's reimagination.
Wait, really? Why, though? Didn't that recipe make it into the Codex?
It did, but like I said, it's the dusty old book now, and the records aren't as legible as they once were. Not to mention that there's no way of finding the secret ingredient Modeste wrote about. So, reimagination is right. I consulted some historical records and took what I could from the Codex. But ultimately, the Gâteau de Bourg of today is my own recipe. As for why we gave it the same name and kept the tradition of only selling 16 slices a day, well, you've got Vanigem's business sense to thank for that.
Oh! Huh. Well, that kind of takes all the mystique out of it.
Hey now, just think, if the original truly
Anyway, before I left my role as head
could it be...
Well, it was maybe from her point of...
you think so?
What?
Who knows? It means vesting her in this however much she's changed since...
Well...
Let's not get to it. Now, if I had to...
Well, that's easy.
Well, I have heard the Traveler is...
Oh, count me in, even if it means
confident.
I've always called it chopping stuff up, not mise en place. But it's basically the same thing, right?
Oh, Navia. The difference in your case is that mise en place is chopping stuff up with... Looks like you found that easier than I expected.
Yeah, thankfully it was pretty straightforward in the end. You made it sound like we'd be carving statues out of fruits or something.
Well, brace yourself, because the next step is anything but straightforward. A kind of special food processor I got the Fontaine Research Institute to make for me. It uses cold temperature extraction to isolate the essence of cooking. But this isn't exactly standard kitchen equipment, so that probably didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Custom-made equipment from the Fontaine Research Institute, huh? That's some pretty high-tech food prep. Paimon's never used it.
The device isn't cold enough yet. I need to reduce the temperature. And done. These are the flavor compounds extracted from our ingredients. I've processed all the fruit you chopped up earlier.
Wow! Even the smell is so much more concentrated. What next? Do we add all this stuff in?
Absolutely not! Throwing everything in at once will ruin the balance of flavors. We have to go slowly and carefully to calibrate the exact flavor we want. I'll demonstrate again. Now, watch closely. Slowly and carefully. Not a drop too much, and not... that didn't count. I was... And voila! Now it's your turn. Not terrible. Considering this was everyone's first time blending flavor extracts, it could have been worse. But the Traveler's work was surprisingly good. Are you sure you've never done this before? That goes without saying. Still, credit where credit's due. You did well. Alright, now for the part I've been looking forward to. I want each of you to cook something from the Hotel de Bourges. That's right. The true test of your cooking skills is the finished product. It'll be good practice for the contest itself. Now get to it. Chop chop!
I guess I'm finally on the right path.
How's it going? I know this doesn't represent what you're capable of. Try again, and this time. How's it going? Look at that! With the grace of a snow-winged goose, as I like to say. Now, let the grating commence.
Pretty good, right? Not to brag or anything, but Paimon's a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to la food.
6 points.
What? Fair enough. Paimon doesn't cook all that often, so as long as it's a pass.
That's 6 out of 100.
What?
You say you're a connoisseur, but it's quite clear from this dish that you have far more experience consuming food than creating it. By that logic, I suppose you think listening to Lady Farina on repeat every day would make you an opera singer.
Aww.
Me next, me next. I'll have you know that this batch of macarons has 2 whole tablespoons less sugar than my previous ones.
So you went from 12 tablespoons to 10? Well, it's nice to know you actually measured it out. Because it tastes like you just threw in whatever was left in the jar. 6 points.
Aw.
Now to the final dish.
So, what do you think?
This is our last hope.
8 points.
Darn! That's barely higher than what we got.
Not exactly. The color is spot on. Beautiful aroma. Excellent presentation. I have to give this one 8 points out of 10. Maybe even 9 points.
Huh? How did you pull that off?
Don't get me wrong. There's room for improvement. But still, this is clearly the work of an accomplished chef. I can tell that you've put many hours of work into honing your skills in the kitchen. I can really taste the grace of the snow-winged goose in this dish. The traveler's journey, with all its trials, tribulations, and setbacks. Not to mention the frustrations of having a picky eater for a partner.
Hey, you made that last part up! No way did you taste that!
Well, it looks like I lost fair and square. I guess you'll be taking the Traveler as one of your assistants then?
But if it takes 3 chefs, that still leaves 1 slot remaining. Maybe Paimon and Navia should keep practicing and see how it goes?
Chef Escoffier!
Oh, it's Hilaire! What brings you here?
I heard the news about the cooking contest. You're doing Gâteau de Bourg, right? I was just wondering if you needed any help?
And you think you're up to the task, do you?
Oh, no, I know I'm not there yet. It's actually my dad who wanted to help.
Firma, last I heard, you could barely get out of bed.
Chef Escoffier, Navia, Traveler, thank you all so much for everything you're doing for me and my family. I've had enough of sitting around at home while you run yourselves ragged. If you let me...
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Don't you worry. I'll be fine. I'm feeling much better now. I'm sorry. I know I've been rather useless these past few days, but not the fact is, I'm a fine chef, despite recent events. I've proven myself in the Hotel de Bourg kitchen, so if anyone's qualified to work under Chef Escoffier, it's me. I think. I mean, I hope so.
Firma, have you even set foot in a kitchen since leaving Hotel de Bourg?
I have not, but I'm fully rested now. I know I can handle it. I'll prove it. Let me whip something up for you right now. Huh? That's strange. Why are my hands shaking?
What do you call this, Firma?
I...
Do it again! Again! Again!
I...
Hopeless. Get out of my kitchen yesterday.
Dad, What's wrong?
I don't understand. I was feeling so much better, and then Will I never be able to work in a kitchen again?
Dad, talk to me. What happened?
I think the real issue here is not physical exhaustion, but psychological trauma.
Monica, when did you get here?
Probably because you were all concentrating so hard on your cooking. I didn't want to interrupt your flow. But anyway, I'm so sorry. If only I'd known how serious your situation was, I would have stood up for you sooner.
You have nothing to apologize for, Monica. During those long nights of redoing every order, you were the only person who looked out for me.
Oh, come on. All I did was make you some tea. I doubt it was much help. Savannah was so ruthless toward you. I probably should have brought you something stronger.
She sounds like the worst. All right, another Savannah horror story. Let's hear it.
She's been getting harsher and harsher on us ever since she heard about Escaffier's new role in the Fleuve Cendre. Seems like no matter what we make, she'll find something wrong with it.
What is this? It looks like a dog's been at it! In the trash now!
Then she orders us to redo the dish again and again, but we never know what's going to make her happy.
Do it again, do it again, do it again!
Every time you remake it, you just get another earful from her.
Either straighten yourself out, or...
So now,
Oh, man.
the more I want to get it perfect, the more my hands shake, and the more scared I am of making another mistake.
How can you give up so easily, Firma? You weren't and even under Savannah, you talk about working late into the night trying to perfect your dishes. That says to me that you still hadn't lost that—
I don't know what's come over me. When I think back, I just remember feeling like my heart and my hands were growing heavier and heavier as the shift went on. Each time I had to redo a dish, my heart's— Maybe Savannah was right. Maybe I am—
Dad...
I see. I will win this contest.
But what if—
You think being one person, even if I had to go it alone, I would present the—
Oh, well, Paimon and Nadia will—
And so will I!
Yeah! And if we're—
Actually, I thought maybe I could help.
What? Why didn't you say so?
I was going to.
You do this for us?
All right, fine by me. But aren't you still working for Savannah?
I know, but it's all right. I've made up my mind. With the way things are, I'm done with sucking it up. It's time to try and turn things around. If this cooking contest can get Savannah to see the error of her ways.
Well, Paimon did—
Great! Then it's settled. And to congratulate you all on making the team, I propose a Spina-sponsored meal to celebrate.
Spina sponsored?
Well, I promised the Traveler a feast in the Fleuve Cendre. And I know how much you've been looking for—
Yeah! Feast, feast, feast!
All right, if you insist, then prepare for some of the finest food of your lives. That's not a bad idea.
That was a dream come true. Paimon never knew Fontanian cuisine could be this good.
I guess I'm finally on the right path.
Being Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
Why, Savannah? Why? Oh, nothing. I was just flicking through the original Codex de Boer. I wanted to see if there was anything I'm missing. Something I hadn't noticed before. That might explain why Savannah's so desperate to get her hands on it. But I can't find anything. It's just some hastily scribbled recipes in between diary entries from Modeste's adventuring phase. And most of it's not even legible anymore. The copy I gave her not only has all the recipes in full, but even includes my own private tips and notes from years of experience. Surely that's infinitely more useful than this old thing. Yeah, maybe. Still, it's just hard for me to imagine that the Savannah I knew would go to all this effort just to make a point. We were. At least I always thought we were. She was a little shy, but meticulous with everything and everyone she dealt with. She made a few mistakes here and there, but she was quick to correct them whenever they were pointed out. And she was always striving. Those qualities are why I recommended her to replace me as head chef. I never imagined for 1 second that she'd cause Fiamma and the other staff so much grief. Well, I mean to an extent, of course. I pushed hard, and the idea that she turned out like this because of me is... I wonder if this is how Modeste felt back when he was writing the Codex. Yes, with his good friend and co-founder of the Hotel de Boer, Savelli. The story goes that after Modeste unveiled his Gâteau de Boer and was hailed as a culinary genius, he was admired and adored by all. But, unlike Modeste, whose every new creation was an instant hit, Savelli seemed to face setbacks at every turn. Doors that, and with Modeste being whisked off to all manner of functions by his celebrity friends, he had less and less time to discuss the color. People started gossiping about Savelli, and their relationship between the two gradually soured. Everything came to an abrupt end when Modeste, still in the prime of his life and still hailed as a genius, suddenly died, and that was it. They neither had a decisive split, nor got the chance to properly reconcile. Their story just came to an end. One rumor had it that Savelli actually killed Modeste out of jealousy, even as the latter was hoping to make amends. Unlikely. It's a popular theory, but there's no real basis for it. At least there are no records of Savelli ever being convicted of a crime. Still, beyond a point, there's no way of knowing what truly happened in the past. All we can do is try to make sure the present doesn't quite go as badly. And that's why I have to win this contest tomorrow. Then get the truth about everything that's been going on, even if it means cracking her open like a nut. Really? Well, I like the confidence.
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you. Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
Whoa, is that our hero, the Traveler? And Paimon, too! Oh, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. Mrs. Coiffier already told me you were the big boss here. But when I saw you just now, I forgot myself for a moment.
Technically speaking, the Cheval Moran Film Fantasyland doesn't even have a boss, does it? Isn't it the idea that everyone works together to make it as successful as possible, and then we all share the profits? But, wait a sec. Why are you here, Veressa?
Well, officially, I'm here to promote my brand. Not long ago, Mrs. Coiffier placed an order with me for her restaurant, as she often does. In her letter, she mentioned that showcasing my orchard's products at the festival would boost sales and help build my brand recognition. After talking it through with my parents, I decided to give it a shot. Now that I'm done with the restaurant's ingredient order, I plan to sell the rest of my fruit directly to guests to help quench their...
The thought of enjoying fresh fruit, but with this many customers...
Huh? There's an attraction over there called Movie Masterpieces, right? I heard some of the challenges are based on... Some of those films have even been adapted into...
So, you...
Back in the collective of... When closing time came around, I'd...
To be fair, that Fontainian... Plus, if you just...
In that case... But I'll need to buy some things in the city before... I promised to bring back some Fontainian clockwork mecha for Kochi... Oh, and... I also wanted to try...
We might not be locals, but we've explored Fontaine...
In that case...
Rev the engines!
Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below.
interesting to do.
Phew.
Us? Wait. All of them? Paimon had no idea. Well, that's a side of Linny we've never seen, but don't even... like eclectic escapades would be more to your liking then. Want to give it a try? Is that really that entertaining? Still, if you're interested in the attraction, why not become a consultant? That way you'd get to see more of the visitors' reactions too! If we can get Linny on board. Oh, your encouragement leaves pot. But now they've got... We have... Oh, you mean we could have... Now that you mention it, that sounds like a great... Yeah, like the workload... We see... It's cooking contest day! To the Hotel de Boer! Toot sweet!
Hello, boss. I'm from the collective.
Wait a sec. Why does Eon-san need Clockwork Mecha?
Nothing like that. Our coach just. She mentioned something. The parts that connect the rope.
It all sounds so tech.
To be honest. And if it doesn't, if you're interested, I can show you if you'll be able to smash the records without even.
I'm gonna pass on that one.
You can always try the equipment. Weight training's for everyone, you know. All right, time to show off how fast I can run.
That's right. Funnily enough,
No need to worry about me, guys.
Woohoo! That was incredible!
How was it? Did you get through all the levels?
It was amazing! Not only did I get a super high score, but I also checked up on every homage to the original films, and even recreated several iconic scenes starring comic book superheroes. I'll focus on doing business this time round, but if there's ever a...
Yep. You know what?
That would be...
Guess that's not scenery most Fontanian. Wait, you sure that's okay?
Try and stop me! Rev the engines!
Ah, they both sound delicious. But how come you seem so familiar with this bar when it's your first time here? Wait. Huh? So we could become mercs too? That actually makes a lot of sense. Who knows? Maybe we'll find jobs where we can help a lot of people while also bringing in a nice chunk of mora. Wouldn't hurt to build connections.
excited to hear. I just need.
That's right, Lin.
Oh, wait. In that just.
Sounds good! Forget health issues. Paimon wouldn't be surprised if she could actually chat with the animals.
Wait, head nurse, please don't go. One of the. He ended up giving him.
Sejuani sure has it tough. Not only does she have to worry about taking care of her patients, she also has to clean up after those troublemakers. Why don't we prepare something tasty for her? It might help lift her spirits.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me to come down. I must say, seems like... Oh, and did you see those weird...
That might not be possible. Are you sure about that? Paimon's pretty sure we've never... Is it because they aren't paying any attention? You're so quick, Dia! Everyone agreed just... Hooah! Watch out, world! There's a couple of new mercs on... It's a...
exploration and trials. Adventuring is right up my alley. Many insects have a compulsion to follow the light, and humans are the same. Except we call that light hope.